Will then that be like a swimming hole?
So we actually don't know exactly the final shape. That's part of our geologic study we're doing right now.
Oh.
So we'll have that information, probably, we'll get the raw data within the month, and then we'll study what that means from a resource point of view, and then we'll have that as a kind of a first draft that we'll present to the county. So we don't know yet if it will be a water feature or not. So
Are you going to have like a certain width and then you're just going to keep digging down?
it really depends upon what the geology tells us. So we know that there are areas we certainly can't go into, right? So all the environmental features won't be touched, right? So we'll be delineating all the wetlands and floodplains and all that. So that will be completely untouched. But if you look at so this is the park here. Broadly speaking, the higher elevation's kind of in this area. And that will be where a percentage of a good percentage of the volume will be there. And then we know we can't touch any of the borders, of course, so we have to be set back from them. So you are defined to be inside of that and where the resource is. Then there's also a pocket right in here that makes sense. So there'll be two areas that'll be impacted.
And you said how long is this going to go for?
So it's really based upon sales and the economy, as opposed to, so that's your sort of your denominator or numerator. And then the bigger number is how much material is there, and that's going to be coming from the geology. So we have an estimate, but it's really based on what our research tells us about the deposit.
So is the county paying you or you're paying the county?
To do this project? Yeah, so the county will be receiving a royalty on this project. So every ton that goes out the gate will be paid a royalty will be paid to the county, and then that'll be used kind of at their discretion. Some for parks, some for TBD, right? So
yeah,
we don't have that broke down exactly.
Yeah, that'll be a county board decision.
Yeah.
I mean, is this like a $100,000 revenue or a multi-million-dollar deal?
Over the life of it, it'll be a multi-million-dollar benefit to the community. Yeah.
What is the next closest gravel pit?
To this site is Wissota Sand and Gravel.
Oh, okay. Is there a high demand for clean gravel?
Yes. Yeah. And and again, what I mentioned in the presentation is it's really needed because there are existing deposits that are coming to the natural end of their life, and this will help supplement that. So there's a market demand. Like I mentioned, we have several customers that even a couple of years ago have kind of expressed concern about a lack of sand and gravel. And again, it's not just about our customers, it's about who they serve, because ultimately they're building the houses that we all live in, the community centers we all live in, the schools we go to send our kids. So these materials are used everywhere. I mean, you're standing on those materials right now.
So now that we're in front of this map, which is a good thing, can you show again where the park entrance is and then where your proposed truck entrance is? You said E?
Yeah, yep. So County Highway E will be, and again, this, because I can't see the scale of the aerial, coming out here, the bulk of the traffic will be going east and then right on a state highway. So it's going on a county road and then right to a state highway.
And then how is that going to be safe for the other, if you want to come use the park or the disc golf?
Oh, right, yeah. So we'll be having separate defined entrances so that there's not going to be cross traffic.
Okay, and then for the people that are playing disc golf, I'm not sure where that is on
It's
the
kind
park.
of all over mostly on the east side of the
Yeah,
park.
it's kind of in this area. Yeah.
And then the bike trails, you were saying
Yeah,
that,
the bike trails are, it's somewhere like here and then somewhere in here. Is that sound right?
There's, yep.
Yeah, so they won't be affected for quite a few years.
okay. Do you have a second? I mean, like what's been the feedback from the county residents there?
Well, this was really our first public meeting. I mean, you guys have talked to or reached out to a few residents so far. So I guess you guys can speak, how the meetings have went with them.
Yeah.
I'm not,
Yeah.
I mean, we just started this process, so.
Okay, how many bids did you get?
4, I believe.
Oh, 4? Okay, all right. Were they all local or were these guys like the only local?
They're all in the state.
Yeah, they were all statewide. There was 2, these guys and one other that were real local. Trying to remember the other ones. Might have been 3 that were, I would say local, and then there was one that's a statewide.
Okay, and then your next step, you're saying is?
We're going to continue to study the deposit. So we're trying to understand exactly the geological extent of the good gravel. That's really going to inform the next step. So then we're going to start that iterative process with our design firm, taking in a lot of information from our stakeholders. So kind of in parallel to understanding the geology, we're understanding our stakeholders, which is why we're meeting with all these different groups now. Then we're going to take that, incorporate all those needs into our first draft. Then we start the process of turning that over again and again and again.